Hello, Steve here from dudehack.com, and today we're going to be going through 2021's Elite Singles Review. Now, Elite Singles is a dating site for the affluent, for the educated, for the career-driven individual. But look, you don't have to be a multi-millionaire working as a CEO with the top master's degree to be involved. Really, at the end of the day, what Elite Singles is all about is matching like-minded people from similar backgrounds. Elite Singles basically just recognize that people from similar backgrounds do tend to drift towards each other naturally, so it cut to the chase and made a platform where you can do so. Most users will have either a bachelor's degree, a fairly successful high-paying job, or just come from a fairly affluent background. But look, before we do get a bit more in depth with Elite Singles, as I said, my name's Steve from dudehack.com. I am the owner. Now, dudehack.com is essentially your online dating resource for everything online dating you could ever imagine. On top of that, if by the end of this video, you're still not entirely sure whether or not Elite Singles is going to be the app you will try or not, I highly suggest that you head over to dudehack.com and take the free quiz. That free quiz will tell you exactly what dating app will suit you best. I'll put a link down in the description, so go ahead and take that quiz now. And last thing before we jump into it, guys, if at any point throughout this video you think, you know what, I just want to give Elite Singles a try for myself, I've gone ahead and I've included a free trial link down below in the description. So go ahead and click that free trial link down below so you can just see what Elite Singles is all about for yourself. But enough of that housekeeping stuff, guys. Let's get into it. So today is all about reviewing Elite Singles. What we are going to do is we're going to be running through a total of 12 different individual aspects. When it comes to Elite Singles, we're going to break each and every one of those down. I'm going to give them my score individually out of 10. And at the end, of course, I will give you my overall score when it comes to Elite Singles as a whole. So the points that we're going to be running through today are the success rate, the user overview, the sign-up process, how you build out your profile, what other profiles look like, getting matches, your communication, the app, the free version, the paid premium version, the cost and value, and the overall ease of use and customer care. And of course, as I mentioned, I will give you my total overall score at the end. So before we really jump straight into the in-depth review, guys, how does Elite Singles actually work? So right now, Elite Singles is available in about 20 plus countries. On top of that, it boasts that it is responsible for a new 2,000 couples each and every single month. So that's pretty good odds. Plus, there is a relatively large user base, mostly, like we said, made up of busy professionals, people who take their career and their job seriously, or just the educated and affluent. Now, as we'll get into in the user overview in a second, is that the Elite Singles demographic, the user base, isn't just looking for one thing. They aren't just looking for a very serious relationship or marriage, and on the other side, they aren't just looking for hookups. What I have found is, yes, people probably do tend to drift slightly over to the relationship side, purely because the user base is made up of people who are a little bit older than, say, your user base on things like Tinder. But because the website contains a lot of busy professionals, like we said, you can imagine not every single one of them is ready to settle down straight away. So yes, there are a few people on there as well looking for something maybe a bit more casual. But just keep in mind throughout this video that majority of people probably are looking for something a tad more serious. But at the end of the day, it's a great dating site with some great features with a great user base. So let's get into the review right now. Now, the number one thing that I want to get into is basically the success rate of Elite Singles, because it's all well and good for me to talk about an app till I'm blue in the face, but if it doesn't work, then what's the point? So let's run through the success rate and the real life reviews of Elite Singles now. Now, generally, it does seem like Elite Singles is quite successful with matching like-minded people. That doesn't mean that it's going to work for everybody though. In the reviews that I've seen of people that really do match this mold of what elite singles is trying to go for, i.e. somebody who has a high disposable income, earns good money, takes their career very, very seriously. What I've found is when it comes to those people, I have seen more often than not positive reviews. That's because the app, the site is used for what it's intended for. Sure, there's going to be people out there that might hear the words elite singles and think, well, I want to be part of the elite group, or are just curious and want to see what it's about. Now, those people probably aren't going to get that much out of the dating site compared to the people that it's intended for. As an example, I found this review from Alan, who is a 39-year-old CFO, someone who obviously their career is very important to them. I joined Elite Singles after deciding it was time to get serious and find someone that I would want to commit to. I had been very career focused since my early 30s, and I didn't really have time for a relationship. So I was just casually dating here and there. When I turned 38, I decided to check out various online dating sites, but on most I found I wasn't really connecting with the women. I really appreciate a sharp mind. So when I saw that Elite Singles had a high proportion of highly educated singles, I decided to give it a go. I matched with a number of women in the first few weeks, and after chatting with a few, I realized one was very similar to me and we organized to meet up. On our first date, we chatted for 4 hours about anything and everything and really clicked. We've been dating for 18 months now, and on our next overseas holiday, I plan to propose. So you can see there from even just one real life review, that's somebody that the app is intended for, someone who is affluent, where their career is very, very important to them, where they want someone on the same sort of mental level as them. It worked. Now, when I have used the dating site, I have noticed maybe 1 or 2 times where the conversation does tend to drift towards income and things like that a little bit too soon for my liking. So just keep in mind that there may be some people like that. Sure, you can just skim along and not give them any time of day if really the only thing they're concerned about is your income. But look, at the end of the day, it is a website where you do have to be affluent. So it is a fair point for somebody to ask. But that's just my 2 cents from what I've noticed. Maybe I don't look that affluent or rich, so that's why people are asking a little bit more. But hey, if you're somebody that does have a decent income and you're looking for the same, and you don't mind having these conversations about things like that, then really at the end of the day, Elite Singles does seem to be highly successful for that demographic. So it's for those reasons that I just explained that I am going to go ahead and vote the success rate and the real life reviews as a 7 out of 10. Okay, next let's get into the user overview. Who are the people that are using Elite Singles? So at this point, it's probably quite obvious, at least the type of people that generally do use Elite Singles. Like I mentioned, people with a successful career, affluent and highly educated. Now, the majority of users are aged between 33 and 50. So you know that that's sort of prime, fairly serious dating age. So in that age group of 33 to 50, we're generally talking daters who might take things just a bit more seriously than say the age group of an app like Tinder, which is generally people in their 20s. So if you are someone that is looking for something a bit more serious and you have been using other dating apps like Tinder or Bumble, you can kind of rest assured that on Elite Singles, you're going to be finding more people a little bit more like-minded to you. As I mentioned earlier as well, Elite Singles is all about the highly educated. That is very, very clear by the fact that 85% of the 13 million user base have a bachelor's degree or higher. So this is a smart bunch of people that we're dealing with. On top of that, like I mentioned, they are generally quite affluent. Now, Elite Singles does give you the option to basically pick your income bracket of what you earn per year. And the website does tout a lot of people in very, very high yearly brackets. Now, keep in mind with those income brackets, they're not there to boast and basically attract people purely on your income and that you earn. It's more to find like-minded people. Now, just imagine that throughout your life, you were somebody that was earning a really, really good income. You are rich, let's imagine. And you knew that throughout your life, you had people basically acting a certain way or throwing themselves at you or whatever that might be because of your money. Now, that's not something I can relate to really just yet, but look, there are going to be people out there like that. So Elite Singles, if you can basically go ahead and post your income and you can look for somebody that has the same income as you, That's a way for you to get around worrying about potential gold diggers. Something else about the user base that is really quite surprising actually to me is the fact that there is a split evenly down the middle between genders. So there is 50% males and 50% females. Now I say that this is surprising because on almost every single other dating app out there, it is always going to be more men than women. So just for that one fact alone, Elite Singles stands out from the rest. And lastly, as I mentioned, the user base does tend to drift a little bit more toward looking for something a tad more serious. But with that being said, there still are people looking for something casual, looking for something easygoing, or just dating. But keep it in mind that generally, most people are looking for a long-term relationship. So to score the user base, guys, we have got 13 million people. We've got majority of those people fitting that mold of being quite affluent, being educated, and being successful in their career. So if you are somebody who is part of that demographic and it's of the utmost importance to you to find somebody similar, well, at the end of the day, you can't get better than Elite Singles. So really for those reasons, I've gone ahead and I voted Elite Singles as a 9 out of 10. Okay, next let's get onto the sign up process of Elite Singles. Now I'm going to be very straightforward with you. Signing up to Elite Singles can be quite tedious. I highly suggest you go and get a glass of wine, put a series on in the background on Netflix or something, and get comfy because it is going to take a decent amount of time. Now, just like many other dating apps, the initial phase of signing up is very simple. You are going to sign up by using your email address, then you're going to proceed to filling out very, very basic information about yourself. You'll provide your location, your age, your height, and your income. Something that's interesting as well is you can also select on a sliding scale how important these factors to you are in your partner that you're looking for. Then following this, you will be working through about 20 minutes worth of questions. And some of them are pretty interesting. For example, it asks you if you sleep with your window open or not. Now, something as silly and simple as that, it still can be quite telling, especially if you're someone who very, very stubbornly wants your window closed and the person that you've matched with wants it open. It could be a bit of an issue. But at the end of the day, those questions are really there to help you answer just some fun questions, but ultimately use those answers to find somebody compatible. And just keep in mind, taking that quiz is free. So if you want to go ahead and finish the quiz, see the breakdown of the quiz after you're finished, you can do so for free. Go ahead and click the link down below and you can go straight onto the quiz now. And now the fact that Elite Singles does even include this quiz to just give you a lot more information about your match or potential match from the get-go, when you compare that to other dating apps where there might be just one simple bio, having more information and just a system that matches you based on your personality is a great thing for an app. And it's why I have voted the sign-up process, even though it's a little bit long, as a 7.5 out of 10. Next, we're going to be talking about building out your profile even further. Yes, like I mentioned before, in this sign up process, you are filling out some basic information about yourself and completing the quiz. And some of that information is displayed on your profile. But what else do we need to do to flesh out our profile a bit more? What I've found with Elite Singles compared to some other dating apps that I think is quite a good thing usually is the fact that every part of your profile is actually optional to fill out. So basically you can go as basic or in-depth as you want. Now, usually I would say that's a bad thing, but the fact that Elite Singles has already given quite a bit of information about yourself based on those answers from the quiz, I think it's absolutely fine. Generally, if I was talking about Tinder and you left your profile blank, I would say that's a big no-no. But on Elite Singles, if there's one question that you feel that you'll be yabbering on a little bit or it doesn't relate to you that much, maybe leave it out. But as a rule of thumb, guys, try to flesh out and fill out that profile as much as you possibly can. No one likes an empty profile. Now, when it comes to photos on Elite Singles, there is no distinct rules of you need to have a certain amount. You don't need a verified photo or anything like that. But guys, just some common sense. Obviously, we're not going to be taking a photo that doesn't have our face or shows you clearly. So just make sure you do put up a photo of yourself where you look good, and preferably more than one. We really want at least 3, showing yourself in different situations and from different angles and lighting and whatnot. Guys, if you are somebody who's not entirely sure on what photos to put up, I highly suggest you do check out my ebook. It's called Tinder Hacked. Yes, it is about Tinder, but all of those points that relate to building out your profile, opening up messages and things like that obviously relate to other dating apps. So if you're not sure on what photos to put up, I probably suggest you go ahead and check that out, and maybe you can go and read the section on the photos so you can get some idea of what to put up there. The next thing that is displayed on your profile, like we said, is the personality quiz. It does focus on 29 key areas of your personality, which are broken down further into 5 distinct areas. Those areas are openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Like I mentioned, it takes about 20 to probably 30 minutes, and you can actually just pause it at any time if you're going a little bit crazy answering all those questions. Next, you'll be filling out your personal description, which is basically just all the basics, where you'll fill out your answer to some very, very simple answers like we mentioned before. But going even further than that, it includes things like your physical characteristics or your habits or your plans when it comes to building a family. This section's really easy to fill out, and it just gives your match or your potential match a bit more info about you. Should take 1 or 2 minutes. Next, you've got your questions and answers, and this is the fun part of the profile, at least in my opinion. Here you can select your own questions, or you can have the app suggest questions for you that you'll answer to be displayed on your profile. It's not just going to be a question. A lot of the time it will be finishing a statement or a sentence. For example, what my partner should know about me is, or what are you passionate about, or what 4 terms would your friend describe you as? There's some pretty interesting questions out there, and you can fill out as many or as little of them as you'd like. Next is your interests, and Elite Singles has a very extensive interest section. You'll be prompted to give a bit of a breakdown of your interests in 3 different sections, that being general interest, sports, and music. But you don't need to write a full breakdown or anything. You can simply just select tennis or whatever hobby you might have. And look, just by everything I've just mentioned, you can tell that you can put quite a few different things to fill out your profile on Elite Singles. The more that your potential match has to work with, the better. Last thing we want, like we said, is an empty profile. So look, it's obvious that Elite Singles does give you quite a few ways to really just fill out your profile and make sure that you are giving your potential match just a bit more to work with. So for those reasons, I've gone ahead and I've voted this section as an 8 out of 10. So we've just spoken about your own profile and basically what that's going to look like and the information that's going to be on there. But what about other profiles? Now, on the free version of Elite Singles, unfortunately, their profile picture is going to be blurred. We will get to the free version of Elite Singles in a bit more detail soon. But other than that, the profile will essentially include all of those questions that we were just speaking about in your profile. So if your match has gone ahead and filled them all out, all of that information will be displayed. On top of that, on their profile will be displayed their personality quiz results. Now, compared to dating apps like eHarmony, for example, that gives you a full comprehensive breakdown on your compatibility of your personality. Unfortunately, on Elite Singles, it just gives you that breakdown of that person's personality. So essentially, it's up to you to see how your personalities will mesh. As I mentioned earlier, people can display their income on their profiles as well as their educational level. Now, obviously on a dating app or site like Elite Singles, where both of those things are quite important, I highly suggest you do put yours on there. And something that's really handy is you can actually see a compatibility score on their profile when you are matched with somebody. And it's for these reasons and more, basically the fact that you can get a pretty good snapshot of who your match is from looking at their profile, that I have voted it a 9 out of 10. Next, we're talking about how you actually get matches. Now, Elite Singles does offer you daily matches that it does suggest to you, but on top of that, you can have a Tinder-esque type matching system where you will be displayed smaller versions of people's profile for you to press yes or no on. Now, the way that the Elite Singles algorithm works to actually match you with those people isn't as simple as finding somebody that is the same as you, because I don't know about you, but if I was dating a version of me, I'd probably drive myself crazy. So really what the Elite Singles algorithm is all about is matching you with a compatible personality. So it might be people that complement your personality or traits where you're basically sort of lacking, they're picking up type thing to balance things out. We've all heard this saying that opposites attract. Now, Elite Singles is really taking this on board and making sure that it's not just matching similar personalities, but personalities that will actually mesh. One thing that I found very interesting is I kept getting matched with people that were emotionally stable. What does that say about my emotions? Anyway, the matching algorithm is effective. That's really all that matters at the end of the day. And it's for those reasons I've gone ahead and I voted this section as an 8.5 out of 10. Next, let's talk about Elite Singles communication. How do you actually even message these people? Another drawback, unfortunately, with Elite Singles free version is that you can't really message people. Premium members can send and receive messages to anybody. Unfortunately, with free users, you can only receive them. So it's a little bit of a tease. If a few premium members have messaged you, it just gives you a whole nother reason to essentially upgrade to reveal what their messages say. So it's basically just a tease because I mean, if you're a free version, you're being sent a bunch of messages by premium members, it's really a way for you to be tempted into upgrading so you can actually message them back. Although basic users can actually go ahead and send a picture or a wink, as well as 5 predetermined icebreaker questions, but unfortunately that really is it. So look, I don't know if you could really communicate and build quite a strong connection with someone purely just out of pictures and winks. It would be quite impressive if you could, but really at the end of the day, guys, if you are going to want to get quite a lot out of Elite Singles, you are at some point or another going to have to upgrade. But as I mentioned, if you are a premium user, you can freely message as much as you like. Another way to actually communicate is you can comment on people's photos. On top of that, if somebody comments on your photo, you can reply to that comment as well. Another neat little feature that does come with Elite Singles Premium is read receipts. That is essentially being able to see when your match has read your message. You don't really get all that much out of those other than knowing that your match has either ignored you or she's gone MIA. Cool. Now look, when it really comes down to the communication on Elite Singles, there's nothing all that special about it for the premium members. Now unfortunately with Elite Singles, if you are a free member, you are quite restricted, but even if you are a premium member, I mean, there's nothing all that special about it. Some other dating apps have fun, unique ways to actually make communication with somebody, but when it comes down to Elite Singles, all you have is basically direct messaging and commenting. Oh, and winks. So it's for those reasons that I've gone ahead and I voted the communication section of Elite Singles as a 6.5 out of 10. Next, let's talk about the Elite Singles app. Now, Elite Singles was predominantly just used for desktop until it eventually created an app. The app is really just there to complement the main desktop site, give you a little bit of convenience. So look, you can go ahead and get it on the Google Play or App Store. And look, I'm going to be frank with you. I like Elite Singles, but I don't really like the app. It is quite clunky and essentially it doesn't really look the best. Now, of course, its functionality is the most important thing, but at the end of the day, its user interface isn't that nice looking, just at least in my opinion. But overall, it does the job. It's a nice, handy, convenient thing to be able to use Elite Singles on the go. It contains every single feature that does come with the main desktop site. Obviously though, if you do want to use the app, you are going to have to be a premium user. So the fact that the app is, yes, nice and convenient, but albeit a little bit clunky and not too nice on the eyes. Also on top of that, the fact that only premium users can use it, I'm voting it a 5 out of 10. Next, let's get onto the free version of Elite Singles. If you weren't wanting to spend any money on Elite Singles, what can you essentially get out of it? So look, I'm going to be frank with you. If you are someone who takes it very seriously, finding love and finding a partner, the Elite Singles free version isn't going to be for you. And look, I do think it's very important that everybody does know that with Elite Singles, you do have to eventually upgrade to premium to get something out of it. So look, if you're thinking of using this app purely just as a free version and you're never planning on upgrading, I probably advise against that. Where the Elite Singles free version works the best is as a free trial. It gives you an opportunity to work through the quiz, set up your profile, and have a look at other profiles, maybe send some links, maybe send some pictures, or maybe even receive a few messages. What I advise for anybody is to start out this way. Even if you are really serious about upgrading to premium, start out this way. See if it's for you. See if the platform looks all right, the user interface looks all right. Maybe you just want to start out like that and see if you get a few messages. If you do, cool, go ahead and upgrade. But when it comes to the free version, just remember you are quite limited. That's really the moral of the story here. But don't let that be the thing that turns you off. The Elite Singles price, believe it or not, is a good thing. I'll get to that in a second, why I believe that's the case. But look, what I suggest for everybody is to just get started on the free version. Check it out, see if the platform works for you, see if you've got some messages, and if you want to upgrade after that, awesome. Yes, you are quite limited on the free version of Elite Singles, but at the same time, you do get somewhat of a free trial. So look, for all those reasons, I have gone ahead and I've voted my score for the free version of Elite Singles as a 6 out of 10. Next, let's get onto the Elite Singles Premium version. With the Elite Singles Premium membership, you can select 3 months of membership, 6 months of membership, or 12 months of membership. So the 6 and 12-month membership do include a few more features, and the monthly cost is brought down just slightly. So the 3-month option does have a few less features, and the monthly price is obviously a bit more expensive. Now, all premium memberships do include something called intelligent matchmaking. Essentially, this just means that you can see a bit more of a breakdown as to why you and that match should be compatible and why you've been suggested in the first place. Now, with the premium membership, you will also be able to see users' profile pictures. Just keep in mind with the 3-month option, unfortunately, you will only be able to see their first profile photo. The others still will be blurred, but on the 6 and 12-month membership, you can see as many photos as your heart desires. Also, when you are browsing through other profiles, another nice little feature is that you will see that their answers to certain profile questions will be highlighted if they're the same as yours. Another nice little feature to find some like-minded people. And lastly, another nice little feature is that you can create a favorites list of people. Look, personally, when I've used this site, I haven't done this. I've never used a sort of favorites list on any dating sites. But look, if that's something that you're used to or something that you might want to do, perfect, it's included. So look, really at the end of the day, just like some other dating apps, the best way to look at it, in my opinion, is that with Elite Singles, you have to pay to play it. So it's not a case of you pay, you unlock all these nice little extra features. It's essentially paying to be allowed to use the app, use this site to its full capability. So look, the features, they're pretty good. If you upgrade, you can use everything to your heart's content if you are on this 6 or 12-month membership. So look, just for the fact that there is quite a few fun, cool features that are included with Elite Singles, I couldn't quite give it a 10 out of 10 because the 3-month membership doesn't include them all. So for those reasons, I have gone ahead and voted it a 9 out of 10. Now, getting on to the good stuff, what a lot of you people are probably wondering about, and that is the cost and value. Now, the 3 different memberships that we spoke about earlier, the 3-month, the 6-month, and the 12-month, are respectively called First Date, Greatest Love Story, and Happy Forever. So there's some sort of cringy names to say the least, but what do they actually cost? Well, before we get into them, just keep in mind the setup of these costs is that they are all debited monthly. So compared to other dating apps where it does ask you to pay upfront, just keep that in mind. It is a month-to-month basis. Now, just keep in mind as well that your subscription will auto-renew. So just keep an eye on it so it doesn't just tick over and you're charged a whole bunch more money, even if you might not be using the app anymore. Now, keep in mind that the pricing that I have found on Elite Singles is in USD. All my prices I generally speak about are US dollars, and they are the latest ones I have found. By the time you're watching this video, or depending on the location that you're in and things like that, the prices may be different. This is to just give you a brief sort of idea of what we're looking at. So let's jump into them. So for the 3-month option, you're looking at $57.95 per month, which comes out to be $173.85. For the 6-month option, we are looking at $44.95 per month, which comes out to be a total of $269.70. For the 12-month option, we are looking at a total of $31.95 per month, not the total. And the total for that one, we are looking at $383.40. I'm going to go ahead and pop up the table of all the prices up right now so you can get a little bit more of a look at them. And just remember, guys, if you do want to try that free version or you are thinking about upgrading to one of these premium memberships, to always go through that free trial link down below. So yes, now you know the cost, but is it actually worth it? Is there any value attached to it? Well, look, really that comes down to you. If you're looking for quality dating with some science behind it, with people that have a very, very similar background to you, then yes, in my opinion, Elite Singles is worth it. Now, one other thing to think about when it does come to the cost, and some people sort of laugh at me when I say this, but I do actually think the cost for an app like Elite Singles is a good thing. Now, just hear me out when I say that. What I basically mean is, if you are somebody that does take this seriously and you do want to find a like-minded person from a similar background, like we've said, then you can sort of rest assured that jumping onto a site like Elite Singles that does cost a substantial amount of money, but also has some other barriers of entry, for example, a big quiz that you have to start off with. For those reasons, you can kind of rest assured that the people not taking it seriously are going to be deterred, i.e. the people that are there for the same thing as you, hopefully, are going to make up the majority of the user base. So we're not going to have just flaky people that are just seeing what it's all about and are going to disappear after a few messages. No, they are committed. They're going to put in the time, going to put in the effort, basically because they've paid to do so. What I do find with sites like this, and eHarmony, for example, which does have a substantial amount to get started, is I find that when you have a bit of skin in the game, you just put in a bit more effort. And that's why sites like this are so successful. So I know that might be a case of trying to find a very, very thin silver lining to what is a pretty substantial cost. But guys, at the end of the day, if you are serious about not being around just tie kickers and people that are going to waste your time and or ghost you, you are probably better off spending a bit of money. But look, with the prices, if you are somebody that might not exactly fit that mold of what Elite Singles is and what it's going for, I probably do advise something like eHarmony because it just has a better success rate. But if you are somebody that does fit that mold, i.e. you are an elite single, then by all means spend your money over there instead. At the end of the day, spending some money on a dating site, guys, it could be the best investment you ever made. If you met the love of your life, the person you spent the rest of your life with, I don't think you're going to be spending too much time thinking about the money you spent. That's just my 2 cents, guys. So in my opinion, yes, the Elite Singles cost is valuable. It is worth it. But just because the price is a little bit high, that does have to deduct some points. So I'm going ahead and I am voting the score for the cost and the value of Elite Singles as a 7 out of 10. Last, we are talking about Elite Singles customer care and just user friendliness. Now, when it comes to the actual app, like we said before, it's not designed that well. It's a little bit clunky. The good news is when it comes to the actual desktop version, which is the one that people do use the most, the user interface is pretty simple and things are quite easy to navigate in terms of where everything is. On top of that, just the design and the colors are quite nice. But most importantly, it functions well. That's the main thing. So yes, the desktop is way better than the app. And look, when it comes to Elite Singles, yes, it is a Berlin-based company, but there is international customer care all over the world, and that includes a phone number. So look, head on over to dudehack.com and read this article if you want to go and find that phone number or the customer care email address if you want to get in touch. But the customer care guys are a really good team over there. Generally, when I do these reviews, I'll send an email or two just asking silly, dumb little questions. I sent one over to them and they took about a day to reply. So pretty good customer care there. So look, that one's really straightforward. Just its user friendliness, its design, and its actual customer care. As a package, I have voted that as an 8 out of 10. Okay, so we've gone through all 12 different points there and I've given you my score, but what is the overall score for Elite Singles? Well, look, basically, I think Elite Singles is a fantastic website. Again, I hate to keep repeating myself, but if you fit that mold. If not, if you wouldn't quite classify yourself as one of the elite, which is totally fine, but if you're not part of that group, then look, Elite Singles, it's probably not the best for you. There is going to be something better out there for you. So for you, go ahead and take that quiz. But for the people that do fit that mold, want to find someone from a very similar background as them, then yes, Elite Singles is highly effective. Yes, it is very straightforward, but there is also a somewhat complex side to it with its matching algorithm, which is a really neat feature to make sure you're matching with compatible people. But I do need to acknowledge that it is unfortunately one of those dating apps that you can't get much out of it for free. But as I said, again, that could be viewed as a positive because the people that are paying are the ones that are taking it seriously. On top of that, with most of its users being above 30, if you are someone in that age group, again, that's another reason why it would be for you. But if you're not, another reason why it probably wouldn't be for you. And look, just like any dating site, it has its flaws, sure. But despite those flaws, ultimately, Elite Singles is a highly successful dating site that has been going for a little while now. And I do believe it will just continue to grow and gain more popularity. There is clear evidence that show that people do tend to be attracted to people from somewhat similar backgrounds than themselves. So Elite Singles has taken that into account and made sure that you're sort of just cutting to the chase to find them. But if I take into account all those tiny little points and I take into the account even the time that I've used Elite Singles, guys, my final score, taking into account all of that, is an 8.5 out of 10. So guys, that is basically it. That wraps up the 2021 review of Elite Singles. I know we had a lot to go through there, but I really hope that I've given you some information that has helped you with your decision. Look, if this has helped you even in the slightest little bit, I would really appreciate if you did go ahead and press the thumbs up, the like button. It makes a huge difference. On top of that, if you are new here, I would really appreciate if you did subscribe. Now, I'm going to be bringing you these videos every single day for the next little while. So if these videos do match what you are interested in, I highly suggest you also press that notification bell. Now, if you're still not sure on Elite Singles, I highly suggest you go and watch my full review of eHarmony. I do believe eHarmony is right up there as one of the best dating sites going today. Or if you're still not sure, on top of that, you can always complete the free quiz over at dudehack.com, which will tell you exactly what dating site is right for you. The link is down in the description below. And just remember, if you do want to give Elite Singles a try for yourself, I have included that free trial link down below. So go ahead and click that, take the quiz and check it out for yourself. But look guys, I had a really good time bringing you this video today and giving you all the information you could ever possibly know when it comes to Elite Single. I look forward to bringing you another video tomorrow. I hope until then that you stay safe, be well, and until then, I'll see you later.